purpose of this video is to show students how to create a best fit line with a spreadsheet such as Google Sheets. So what I've started with here is I've created a new document. This is my density of aluminum lab. So I have entered data here. You probably collected similar data for your copper. And what you're going to do now is notice that these three numbers don't reflect the accuracy or the precision, I should say, the precision of our balance. So we need to change that. I am going to go up to number format, number, and choose to have 3 decimal places. These were very precise sizes of aluminum. I've got 30 gram, 50 gram, 70 gram, and I know very clearly to 3 decimal places what the mass is. Now for these guys, on the graduated cylinder, I could measure the ones place for certain, and I had to estimate the tens place. So I should have all these numbers showing the tens place, and this 11 doesn't. I can change that by going here and saying, oh, I want another decimal place to be shown. So that's how you do that. Now for my density, this is a formula. I'm going to type an equal sign, and the spreadsheet is going to do the calculation for me. After typing in equal, I'm going to click on the cell that I want this calculation to start with. I want to divide the 30, so then I need a division sign, by the data in the next cell over, the volume. So this, you can see the formula is B2 divided by C2. I push enter. That's mass divided by volume. Now, the power of the spreadsheet is I can just fill in by dragging the blue box down. So these are my 3 numbers, but notice all of those digits. I did a division here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 significant digits and 3 significant digits. So my answers must be limited to 3 significant digits. In that case, I need 2.73, 2.65, and 2.68. So I go back to my number format and I say stop after 2 decimal places. And sometimes you have to do these individually, but I can do all 3 numbers at the same time because they all look to be the same in terms of what's in the ones place. Okay, so what's the next step? I'm making a graph. I'm going to highlight the information here that I want to graph, including the words, and then I'm going to click on the little Insert Chart button. The Insert Chart button shows me a bar graph. I don't want a bar graph. I want a scatter plot because I'm going to do a best fit line. I scroll down here. X-axis says mass, and I want that to be volume. So I can click right here. Say I want to edit the x-axis. Instead of B1 to B4, let me move this down. You can see it's column B, cells 1 through 4. I'm going to change that to C1, C4. So that makes it volume. See column C there? Now, to fix this further, I've got volume versus volume. I'm going to have to change the other one to mass. So instead of C1 to C4, I'll make this B1, B4. Okay, now I've got mass on the left and volume on the right. It says I can click use row 1 as headers, and you might remember row 1 is my words, so I'm going to definitely do that. So I'll come over here and use row 1 as headers. So now I've got mass of aluminum. If I click aggregate column C, you can see what it does there. Instead of, it gets rid of some of those lines, it just shows me the numbers that I'm interested in. So I kind of like those lines there, so I'm going to leave it like this. All right, the next thing I want to do is go to Customize. So in Customize, what I can do with my chart here is I can add a title. So I'm going to do chart title, and I'll type it in here, density of aluminum. And I can add a horizontal axis. You remember I put volume across the bottom, and volume was in milliliters. And then for my vertical axis, I used mass in grams. And let's see, legend, all that stuff's good. Horizontal axis. Something you can do here with the horizontal axis, let's say I want to start out at 0, and the maximum I don't really care about, but let's just keep it at about, I don't know, 35. Alright, so now you can see 0 to 35. That works pretty good for me. Moving on down, vertical axis, I can do the same thing. Grid lines, I'm okay with the grid lines. That just changes how many lines are shown on the map. Now there's one more thing that we need to do, add our best fit line. So I'm going to go to series, and you can see you can add error bars, data labels, and a trend line. I'm going to click add the trend line. Notice it gives me a best fit line, and I can choose to show the R squared value. Now the R squared value here is 0.99. The closer that R squared is to 1, the better the quality of your data to getting a true best fit line. If all the data is exactly on the line, R squared would be 1. So we're really close. Then I can also show an equation for the line. So this is 2.647 times x plus 0.587. That's mx plus b for those of you who are in algebra, where m is the slope of the line. All right? So that's kind of like a way of averaging out the density of my aluminum, about 2.67. All right, so having done that, I am going to want to somehow print this thing, copy it. You guys can do a screenshot, you can do a snippet tool. If you want to, you could just grab a copy of this map, and print it somehow, copy it, paste it, do whatever you like to do. Get a copy of this into your notebooks. We'll print them and add them to our notebook so we can see, and then add more data to this if we can in the future.